Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're on a road trip. Right now we're in Kingman, Arizona. I'm going to take a couple pictures here pretty soon of the Ramada Inn we're staying in. It's on Route 66. It's really cool. You'll notice the old blue Subarus on the car trailer. Yeah, we got a 16-year-old grandson looking for wheels. Let's let this story develop. Well, there's the world's largest firecracker. There's always one in every crowd. We have arrived at the Stewart compound north and delivered the old Subaru to our oldest son for our 16-year-old grandson, who's already washed it and waxed it. So I take it this is a hit.
Oh, yeah.
With you?
It's super cool.
Super cool?
I like it.
Yeah, I kind of figured you would.
My dad really liked it too. He just said it was running really smooth.
He's already had the catalytic converter apart because I had trouble with that before we decided to bring it north. He's already got that all squared away. So, you got wheels, dude. So we're here at our youngest son's place, and I brought this little 4-foot box scraper with rippers from Arizona. I've had this for several years. I got this for free, and it's too small for what I do. I pulled it behind the old 8N Ford, but it's light duty, and concrete soil that I deal with is not quite sufficient. And our son's got this little late 70s Kubota B6000, which that will match up to perfectly. But we've got a problem. Sorry it's so dark in here, but the steering on this little Kubota has given up the ghost. And there's all kinds of stories on YouTube about these B6000 tractors and steering. What I did discover, a YouTube creator down in Australia does tractor repair, and he was working on a Yanmar, and he stated that basically the Yanmar and Kubota uses the same steering box and guts, and he demonstrated a rebuild on it. So yeah, we're gonna give a go at trying to get this Kubota steering to work. Steering wheel's held on by a 17 millimeter nut. I took that off and just popped the steering wheel right off. The dash is held on by 4 13 millimeter bolts, and there's I believe these are 12 millimeter down here. I'll pull those out, and then the whole shaft and everything comes out, and then we'll go from there. Looks like somebody, that's the ground, sorry, crappy camera work. That's the ground for the battery, or earth, from my friends watching from outside the US. Somebody's changed that bolt out. Well, I know it might be factory, and they just identified it with a different head shape to indicate that's where the ground cable hooks. So I'll pull those 4 bolts out and then see if we can lift this shaft out and go from there. Well, I discovered the problem when I pulled the steering column out. All the ball bearings were loose all over inside the box and all over the shaft. And every time you tried to turn, those ball bearings would jam up on all the surrounding structure and wouldn't let anything happen. What I also discovered is there's 2 different sizes of ball bearings. There's also a little bearing shell in there that sits in the bottom of the case that this bottom of the shaft sets in. So what basically the concept is, I believe there's supposed to be 5mm balls, and you completely pack the inside of this sector gear block and these little ball shells with the bearings, and then you captivate the whole thing with this little bracket here screwed to the sector gear. And as you can see, there's all kinds of slop. All the balls were everywhere but where they were supposed to be. So let's see if we can clean this all up and put it back together. Somebody had been in here prior to my son owning this tractor and fouled this all up. And they even purchased another steering column and stuff, but and that's as far as it all went. So when my son gets home, we'll continue on and see if we can't get this functioning. By the way, those are not Phillips. Those are JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard. So if you're careful, you might be able to get a Phillips to work, but chances are you'll gum everything up. But I think I can get those with a slotted screwdriver. I was curious as to why there were 2 different size balls in this assembly. Well, upon closer inspection, the upper bearing here failed. That's what's left of the bearing shell, and that contained larger size balls. And of course they all fell out and jammed up the whole works here. Sorry, the lighting's really poor, but on this sector gear here, the inside is Japan's version of Acme thread, and some of those balls jammed up in there and kind of wrecked the female thread in here. And you can see this one ball, there's only half of it. So I think between the 2 columns here, we might be able to salvage enough parts to get a good working steering shaft again. You can buy the whole thing on eBay: shaft, sector gear, all the bearing retainers, everything, seals for the steering box for $179, including shipping. My son may opt to go that route, but in the meantime, I'm gonna keep forging on here. My son's at work right now, so that's why I'm doing all this solo. And typical of a young man, you know, he's got 2 kids and you know, a wife. He's got a 6-acre place and a full-time job, so time is precious. So when old Dad here is here, Dad can help out. Plus, I have an ulterior motive here. We really can't do a kids and tractor video without a tractor operating. Okay, we're methodically taking all the balls and feeding them into the block all the way to the top on all 4 holes. And then we gotta pack the balls in these little shell frames here, put one over the other, and then gently set that on top. We just sprayed it with WD-40, just some light lube, because the gearbox is supposed to run in oil, because as you crank this, the balls are supposed to free flow back and forth in these shells, and if there's any kind of obstruction, they bind. Not a great design. So Nancy's filming me while I'm cleaning the burrs out of these half shells. Because when this all got bound up, I don't know if you can see or not, it kind of bent in these little edges here. That helped bind everything up. I kind of straightened that with needle nose pliers. Now I'm filing the burrs off because the balls have to free flow through these. Weird design.
That's how they go in, I suppose.
Yep, that's how they go in. And then set them on there, and then we captivate it with that little bracket and screw it down. And yeah, I don't know if those are. This was a fight. Dropping all those little balls in there and keeping them aligned with the Acme threads, and then packing all of these little shells with the balls, and then feeding them in without spilling them all over the floor, which we did a half a dozen times. A little more slop than I care to have, but go ahead and spin her, son. Nothing's falling out. So I think this is going to be good enough to get him back in action until he can order new parts and put it back together. And with the new parts, this is already assembled from the factory. You don't have to fool with it. Because that's a royal pain.
Without any shims. And it's actually pretty...
Does it feel pretty good without the shims?
It feels pretty good without the shims.
Well,
that might be too tight.
The shims are actually more for the engagement of this shaft with the sector gear block shaft.
You sure? Because it goes, the shims are for this.
Right, but like I'm saying, it's the gear mesh. You know, if we're too loose one way than the other, then you put a shim in there to change the difference. You want to pull that nut off of there, son, and you hang on to that, and I will slide this through as straight as I can go here.
All right.
Looks like we're pretty well aligned that way. Might have to jicky jack that in a little bit. Doesn't want to go all the way through.
All right. Well, yeah, you kind of got to hammer it in.
The problem now is we put the steering shaft in. The bottom of that shaft, if you don't perfectly align it, it bumps that bearing out of alignment, and then you can't see it. And it's a real pain. Getting the alignment is a real pain. This, if it doesn't center just right on that bearing, will knock it sideways. So my son's off looking for a couple of metric bolts. We can cut the heads off, put one here and here to act as studs. Then we can slide the shim pack over the studs and keep them aligned, because this boss on the shaft, the shims have to slide over that. If they're not all perfectly aligned, they hang up and you can't get this thing to seat all the way down. Okay, the steering column and shaft are in. We are shimmed. Now we are just getting this. Looks like my light just died. We're getting this in there. The final adjuster is here. Get that installed, and then we'll drive it. Is that the long one?
Nope. Long one. It's right here.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you,
I just stripped it.
oh, did you?
Yep.
I'll be doggone. Oh well.
It's
Is it? Oh, it's a socket. Maybe it's 12 instead of 13.
or it might be half.
I think what we'll do. Oh yeah,
Well, that's too loose too. That's gonna be 12.
might be 12 then. What we can do is we'll get the steering wheel on there, and then you can do the final adjustment on that. Yeah, it is 12. That figures. 13 on the column and 12 on the side. Yeah. Then we'll do the final adjustment. We get the steering wheel on.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Solid. All the
Okay.
way around.
We do still have some slop in the steering, but there was significant wear on the sector gear and the worm gear and all the ball bearings and everything else. This thing was a mess. So my son opted to order the brand new shaft and kit, new sector gear and block and all of that. But this will get him by for the next few days. All those new parts arrived, so we're gonna crank this thing up and drive it around. That thing's hard starting.
Yeah.
Well, it's 48 years old, so
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
here we go. How's the steering? Sorry about the wind noise. It just decided to kick up all of a sudden. I brought the Arizona wind with me. All right, he's got steering, albeit a little sloppy from worn parts, but it's working. So it's working pretty good, or good enough. That's better than what you had. Yeehaw! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, the new rebuild steering kit, new shaft, sector gear, and all of that was $179, and he ordered it this morning, so I'll be here in a few days. And but this will leave. Oh, of course. That'll get him going anyway. Oh yeah. My granddaughters will be home in an hour. They're gonna love this. lot here. We got to do some more adjusting on this. Ease your left foot up real slow. Real slow. That a boy. Perfect. All the way now. Let it off. Okay, take your foot off it now. Turn right. Now real slow again. That's better. You're going a little too fast there, buddy. Okay, take your foot off of it all the way. Kids and tractors, they do mix. Push that in, step on the brake. Pull it back. Okay, that's good. Now, take the other lever on the right and push it forward. Okay, pull it back. Nicely done, dude. Let your left foot up real slow. Real slow. Atta girl. Okay, you're fine. Turn the wheel that way. Okay, push your left foot all the way down again. Now, we're going to let your left foot up real slow, and we're going to turn to the left. There you go. Kids and tractors. This is the proper way to raise kids. A little more. That's good. Now, the other lever, push it forward. Ah, okay, now pull it back. A little more. That's good. Now push that one forward. That's good. Lift it up just a little bit. Perfect. Nice job, Finn. He's going to be 8 in a couple of weeks. Finley, hand over hand. Don't grab the wheel like that. There you go. Okay, buddy, push that pedal in and hold it. Yep, and just hold it. Let it off slow. Good job. Okay, you climb off. Don't bump any of the levers. Climb off easy. Perfect, Finley. Nice job. Get on there, Melise. Finley, grab my soda pop right there. Okay. You push that all the way in and hold it. All the way down till it won't go anymore. Hold it in. Now let it off slowly, real slow. Just like the old green bean. Yeehaw! Like a boss. I got so many grandkids, I'm getting my cardio walking around with this tractor. Well, we're gonna let your cousin try it if she wants to. I'm a bigger child than all these kids. We've got a little s'more action happening here. It's a perfect activity after you spent the afternoon driving tractors. So, we are starting our return trip to Arizona. And I've got an empty trailer. We've got a very, very, very important stop along the way. We are going to be down in Oregon visiting Nancy's sister. And there's a very, very special event I will be attending that I will reveal in a separate video. But because of the nature of this event, there may be something on this trailer for the return trip. We'll see how it all pans out. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. Music in the background. Nancy and I are at the State Fairgrounds in Salem, Oregon. She happened to discover this giant indoor sale going on. So I got an empty truck and a trailer. Waylon Wire, I found another hoopty. This thing is awesome. Complete with, yeah, all the amenities. Well, I managed to score this really cool old school step stool. And that'll come in handy. I'll clean that up and paint it. And then Nancy got this old school modified wheelbarrow and an awesome old bird cage. Not sure what she's going to do with that, but she always has ideas. So that little sale at the, or I should say huge sale at the fairgrounds in Salem turned out to be pretty good. Yeah, we're in California. We are in Benton, California. Just pulled off the road because there's some glorious cast iron here that I just had to capture. Looks like we got an old Fordson here on steel. And I do believe that's an old cleat track. All kinds of implements, sickle bar mowers. Looks like we got a manure spreader here. Oh yeah, this is just heaven to me. Not sure what this wooden framed machine is here. Looks like a winch setup. Might be part of a mining operation. Don't know. But yeah, this is cool. We are in historic Goldfield, Nevada, the ghost town that really isn't. And the streets are lined with some great old cast iron. So let's go check this out. We got an old mini mow here. And a winch drum. This is for my pals Arnie, John, and Mick, all retired firefighters. This is a sweet old ladder truck. I haven't found a label plate on it anywhere that tells me what make it is. Sorry about the traffic noise. We're right on US 95 between Reno and Las Vegas. This old truck is sweet. I'm betting American LaFrance, but I can't be sure. Wait, did I build that? The other video that I mentioned earlier in this video that I was going to film along our trip has one of these best vertical boiler steamers fully restored and operating. This is such a rare find. And this example is mostly complete, except it is missing the cab. I've driven by this several times on our Southwest United States Odysseys, and this is the first time I've stopped and actually checked it out. Now, these rear wheels are at least 8 feet tall. The single front wheel is as tall as me, and I'm 5'9". This is sitting right next to the old miners' hall. I consider this a privilege to be able to get so close to one of these. The rear wheels are also, they're 2 feet wide. Incredible machine. This was the technology of the day over 100 years ago when Best and Holt built their steamers and their tracked crawlers. And they were bitter rivals, but they eventually merged in 1925 and formed Caterpillar. We all know about Caterpillar. This is a predecessor to Caterpillar. Something on the water tank here. WA Human Lear, I think. Welding Works. Cucamonga, California. I didn't get the last name very well because it's obscured by rust stains. So that's who built this water tank. What's your name?
Randy, Maine.
Randy? I'm Matt. It's a pleasure.
Hello, Matt.
So you've got the history on this. This is a Best steamer, am I correct?
This is correct. This is a Best made in San Leandro. It's 1894,
1894, okay.
and 3 of these were delivered to Daggett, and they climbed off the rail cars.
Yeah,
And they worked delivering borax.
okay.
But the mules did a better job. So one of them burned up and it's gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Then the other 2 roamed around the desert doing odd jobs. And then they both broke down. One got stuck and the other one blew up in 1909.
Oh my. Well, that was
So-
not uncommon in those days with steam boilers.
Yeah. So anyways, there it sits. I have a picture of it delivering goods to town in before the railroad got here.
So it became a freight hauler then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's marvelous history.
So it takes 3 people to operate it. The front walker, the fireman, and the boss.
Yeah, the driver. I
Runs, it drove there.
So that sea cab truck was run and parked there,
Yes.
and you said it was a World War I
Army surplus.
Army surplus, and the was it the Nevada Road Department that
You
had
can
it?
barely see it on the cab.
I'll be dumb. I'll have to get a closer look at that when we're done talking. So this is rare. This is the 4-wheel drive auto company, Clintonville, Wisconsin. That is a rare truck. Check out the hand crank. So this was driven and parked in this spot, huh?
Yeah,
My goodness. Well, with
I
a
was in it. In the back.
so probably with some fresh gas and clean the magneto, this would probably run. This is 4-wheel drive.
Right.
Look at this spring pack, hard rubber tires, dump box. My goodness, what a beautiful example. The sheet metal is perfect, just weathered. My goodness. You got throttle and spark control right there on the column, which was common to vehicles of this era. My goodness. Fuel tank, look at the brackets for the fuel tank. Mechanical dump box. What a beauty.
So this building is built after this print of a watercolor.
Well, this is a real cool interior here. Obviously, you guys are still working and putting things together.
So Matt, come over here, take a look.
Okay.
I say that my objects take up 2 foot apiece, and I've got 12 feet. So I've got 12 objects, 6 up and 6 down.
Yeah.
So this motor is marked Goldfield. And
Wow.
There's a bucket. So those are 2 of my 12. We'll look at the others.
Yeah.
And then we know that the circus came to town. And I found this wheel. So it has a little bit of paint here or there. So it's a circus wheel.
Yeah.
But we know that they moved heavy things like houses. So it might have been pressed into use for,
Do you think it may have been pressed into use when they started to dismantle Rhyolite and move everything over to Beatty?
well, things were on the move. As soon as they started building them, they were on the move.
Yeah.
So it's a necessary thing. So I found a wheel, and it doesn't make sense except that we know the circus came to town.
Yeah.
It got left. Was it used? Oh,
Or just fell off the back of one of the wagons?
yeah.
So you got an old blacksmith swage block hiding in the corner there.
Yeah. So that was in someone's yard and holding up their clothesline. $200 later, it was in my trunk.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And you got a deal at $200 because those things, they bring siding cart here too. That's That is a beauty.
Well, we know the history of this.
Really?
So, Railway Express, railroad.
Yeah.
And so this wasn't horse powered. A man did that.
I'll be doggone.
And so we lived in West Covina. Well, my dad knew the head of operations in Los Angeles.
Huh.
And they had hundreds of iron wheel.
I'll be doggone.
So he said, we had one and we shipped it off. He says, go check your Covina station. So I lived in a little room. And my dad said, can I buy it? Sure. Well, what do you think? $10.
$10.
So it lived in our garage since the late 60s when REA quit.
Yeah.
And it's never been outdoors.
Oh,
Except work.
what a sweetheart this is. Those wood spokes, are they wood or iron?
No, they would.
Yep. They're perfect. Usually when we see something like that, borers get into the wood and ruin them, but this thing is just pristine. Traffic here along the highway for a museum and people like me stopping and looking and
I get 2 visitors before lunch and 2 after lunch, and I don't make a penny. It costs me money to have this.
oh Lord. Well, thank God you are doing the preservation. This looks like a
Dry shaker.
dry shaker. Okay.
Yeah, this is a 1905 garage,
1905 garage.
and it was starting to fall. So I went, talked to the owner,
Yeah.
and that's a truck radiator
I was just going to say,
with a tractor motor.
forgive me for interrupting your story. Stewart, they're out of New York. That's my last name. No relation, but Stewart Trucks. The only other one I've seen complete is up at the Lewis Toy and Truck Museum out in Moriarty, New Mexico. And he's got a Stewart truck out front. And so I'm speechless. That is a royal treat for me to see that Stewart radiator. That is amazing. And you said it's a tractor engine? It looks like it could.
Says, well, it has the name and it's a tractor name.
It looks like a Minneapolis Moline engine.
I think it is.
Because it's got the twin
Yeah.
cast cylinders. Well, forgive me for interrupting your story. You started talking, and I
Anyways, this
spotted
garage
this.
is starting to lean a little bit.
And that's this structure right here.
Yeah. So I asked the owner, can I have the garage? He says, sure, what are you going to do with it? And it was over here about a block. So we moved it here.
Moved it here, and all right.
And if you want to see inside.
Well, absolutely. Your little power hacksaw sitting here. I've got one mounted on a trailer along with a bunch of other stuff that operates when I go to shows. Here we go. Oh my, you got a touring car hiding in here.
22 Dodge.
A 22 Dodge. You know, you always see the Ford Model A's and some of the early GMs and Stars, but the Dodge brothers, you don't get to see them as much, and I'm a Dodge guy. So again, what a treat. This thing looks like it's been beautifully restored, the upholstery and everything. No? It's
Well,
a
it was just horsehair, so I had to do something.
yeah.
But it was painted in 1950.
So it's got the old lacquer style paint job on it, and well, wow, it's well preserved. Obviously, it's been kept out of the southwest sun.
Yeah, it's never been outdoors. Never.
What a
Oh,
beautiful.
look, there's another wheel behind you.
Hard rubber tire. So that came off an early truck, probably.
Yeah, not a buggy.
Old forge. Yeah, forge blowers, blacksmith stuff.
So we have a Dodge wrecking yard for pre-1925 Dodges if you want to see it.
Oh my God.
But if you're
This is awesome.
let's go in.
Well, man, I assume those are period. I'm assuming those are period ceiling fans here,
Well,
or repros, or
they're from Home Depot.
oh, okay. So they look good.
We're gonna play the piano. You gotta sit there.
Is it a trick chair?
So we got a Aerosonic, looks like a console. Acrosonic, excuse me. I got poor eyes, I didn't see the
So
C.
this is attributed to this town.
Okay.
There's a place where lovers go to cry their troubles away, and they call it Lonesome Town, Hopefield, where the broken hearts stay. You can buy a dream or two to last you all through the years, and the only price you pay is a heart full of tears. Going down to Lonesome Town to cry my troubles away. In the town of broken hearts, the streets are paved with regret. Maybe down in Lonesome Town, I can learn to forget.
Boy, that's a great cat.
Bravo.
This is Randy, and I'm serenading Nancy in Goldfield. And it's her birthday. She's just turned 50 today.
And I absolutely will not challenge that.
It's all
Chick-fil-A, I could eat there 7 times a day. Where the people laugh and children play. Oh, I need Chick-fil-A. Suddenly, I need waffle fries in front of me, and some nuggets and one large sweet tea. Oh, I need Chick-fil-A.
Instruments are.
We are home. Literally just pulled in the driveway. We completed a 4,000-mile odyssey across, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 western states. And we're worn out, but man, what a trip, what a great time. I hope you enjoyed the eclectic nature of this video. I mean, we did a little bit of everything. We did some tractor repairs and tractor rides and met some really interesting people, did some really interesting things, saw some great cast iron. It was just a great road trip. So I want to thank you all for watching and hanging with us on this. This is going to be a threefer this week. Today's July 31st. Tomorrow is August 1st, so I got to film the Whetstone traffic report. I've got to upload this video. And then a couple of days, I'm going to upload the other video mentioned earlier here. I'm not going to say anything about that. It'll be self-explanatory, but it is epic. You won't want to miss it. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you really soon in the next couple of days. Bye for now.